Okay, guys, this is probably going to be the one of the better vids I've done. It's really good information to everybody. And if I'd known this a long time ago, I would have been a lot better player than I was. Okay, but now I know it. But anyway, we're having Bonnaroo here this week. Tonight, well, tomorrow night, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing. They'll be on the main stage, and Post Malone is on the main stage tonight. They've got 10 stages set up, and they got 150 bands that are playing. So it's a big deal. It started in 2004, and there's about 65 to 70,000 extra people here in this little town of about 15,000 in Manchester, Tennessee. So that's why I stay home. Okay. All right. What I wanted to talk about is this. The two things that you got to have to be a really good golfer, you got to have a trigger. What I mean by that? Well, you saw the trigger for me in yesterday in the vid. My trigger is this going back. That's a trigger. It could be just a simple pressure change in your lead foot. You may not see it, but you got to have a trigger to get you started. If you start from a static position, you're dead. Okay. Let's see. Milo Lyons has put out a video that proves that. I'll pin it on the bottom of this vid and let y'all look at it and show you how important it is. So don't start from a static position. Another thing is the brakes. Okay. Man, if I'd known that a long time ago, I would have really been a good player. But I didn't know anything about it. The brakes. You have brakes on the right-hand side of you. Here's the middle of you, and you have brakes on the left-hand side of you. Target side and the backswing side. Okay. So you got to have those brakes. Why do you have to have brakes? Well, let me give you an analogy of if you're going down a freeway and you're driving, say the speed limit 75 miles an hour, and you're in a Corvette, and the Corvette doesn't have any brakes, and then you kind of get into a traffic jam, and what happens? You got to swerve all over the place to keep from getting into trouble, right? But if you had brakes, you could stop. Okay, the same holds true in the golf swing. The brakes limit you, gives you the limitations of getting in trouble. Okay, so what I mean by that, if you got a brake on the back side over here where we control, which is the right heel, if the right heel's in like this, that's a brake. Well, that limits what I can do. Okay, if I didn't have a brake over here, hell, I could do all kind of stuff. All right, I'd be like that Corvette going down the road that didn't have any brakes and got in trouble. Same holds true over here on this side. If you got a brake over here, which is the heel this way, or whatever you want to find as a brake, it takes that away on the target side of the ball. So the brakes are really, really important. If I had to if I started all over again, that's what I'd build my swing around, would be the brakes. Okay, because I'm building in limitations where I can't screw up. You see what I'm saying? Back and even through. So if you're, and a lot of people know this. A lot of people like Lee Como, he knows this. I don't ever hear him talk about it. Martin Ayers knows it. Martin's talked about it. Dave Ford, he's shown it to us. Diz, he's shown it to us. And the list goes on, that people knows this stuff because it's finally coming out. Okay, this had never been discussed before, but it's very, very important that you know it. So find you a brake on the right and left hand side of you. Hey, If you don't want one on the right-hand side, make sure you get one on the left-hand side, because you got to have something to hit against, and that's the brake. Okay, you're hitting against that brake. A lot of people call it a wall or whatever the hell they want to call it. You got to have something to hit against. All right, so that's very, very important. So to me, that's the best advice I could give anybody that's wanting to learn how to play golf. Find them brakes and find your trigger to start the motion. Talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye.